Authorities in South Africa have raised concerns at the increasing number of young Ethiopians being trafficked to South Africa and kept under what they say are slavery conditions. Yesterday, a foreign national was arrested after police discovered 10 naked young Ethiopians locked in a property in Mapleton, south of Johannesburg. This is not the only incident. Around 40 hungry, scared, naked and injured young Ethiopians were found locked inside a house in Sandton in May. Another 26 were found in Sandton in January, while a group of 80 were discovered under similar conditions in August. The African Diaspora Forum says it is deeply concerned.
We are very concerned that if these cases are not given adequate attention or any neglect is done, perhaps because these are vulnerable communities, that might not be given the attention.
And then you go ahead and ask yourself, why is there people being trafficked into South Africa, and why specifically the Ethiopians, Somali type of people who live in East Africa? Well, the answer is quite simple if you know exactly what businesses they operate here in South Africa. Normally you'd find that these individuals are operating businesses in the informal sector, right? That's your spaza shops, salons, those informal businesses that South Africans once dominated. Now these foreigners, when they come to in the country, they operate those type of businesses. But if we're talking about the Pakistani, Somali and Ethiopians, to be quite specific, those are dominating the tuck shop and spaza shop industry. That's worth around 200 billion rands annually. So now, how do they benefit by importing a bunch of Somalians or Ethiopians or Bangladeshi or Pakistan? Well, they benefit in the sense that every time you go to a Pakistani or Ethiopian tuck shop in South Africa, you'd find that it's somebody who's in there 24 hours 365. These people work even in public holidays, even in Workers' Day. These people are open from at least 7 in the, did I say 7? At least 5 in the morning, all the way up to around 11 p.m. at night, consistently for 365 days in a year. That's facts. Go to any township and ask them. They'll tell you that it's true. These brews do not close these shops. You feel what I'm saying? So as South Africans, as normal South African civilians, we understand that according to our South African labor laws, you're not allowed to be at the workplace for such long periods of hours, especially if you're working for those hours unpaid or underpaid, as there is a minimum wage that South Africans have to earn, or at least anybody who's working in South Africa, whether it's a citizen or not. You are protected by the labor laws of this country. Now, imagine trying to hire a South African to work in an Ethiopian tuck shop. You are not going to be able to finesse the South African to stay in these jail-like shops with burglar doors, with burglar type welded structures, literally contained in there for 24 hours 365. You cannot get away with it if you're doing that to a South African. But if you are importing people from your country, people from war-stricken countries such as Ethiopia, such as Somalia. I'm not sure if Ethiopia is war-stricken, but I do know that Somali is very, very broken down. If you import Somalians who basically have no other option as far as going back home, because going back home to what? To a war zone? Going back home to what really? To a whole terrorist demolishing community? Attacked community? It's not going to happen. You're not going back there. So you have a bunch of these illegal Somalis who are entering South Africa, as I'm going to show you in these videos that I have lined up for us, who are basically being contained in these tuck shops and being enslaved, to say the least. I'm sorry, I said it. Shoot me. I said it. If this is not modern day slavery, then I don't know what is. These people are literally in there the whole time, the whole design. The caption reads, Ethiopians without passports caught in Zambia going to South Africa, yet we are told we are xenophobic.
I'm from Ethiopia.
Ethiopia?
Yes.
Okay, so what are you doing here?
I'm staying here, but I'm going to South Africa.
You're going to South Africa?
Yes.
Okay, so who brought you here in Zambia?
Someone let me to stay here.
Okay.
Yes.
How many are you?
Me, we are six.
Six.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have papers to be here?
Papers?
Immigration papers.
Immigration papers?
Uh,
I have no immigration, another paper, but I am going to South Africa by bus.
you don't have
Yes.
passport? Do you have passport?
Passport? You have passport?
No passport.
No passport.
No passport. How old are you?
Me? I am 24 years old.
And your friends, what's the age range?
Me for
Age-
me for 15 years.
23.
Exactly. No passport, no papers. Somebody put us in this room. We are on our way to South Africa. Where are you guys from? Ethiopia. Of course, these people get finessed by individuals in Ethiopia to say, if you guys want work, come. We'll get you work in South Africa. When they pull up here in South Africa, they sign themselves up into slavery, modern day slavery. Why? Because, first of all, they are undocumented. So if you go to the police, they are just going to arrest you and take you to the border. What's that prison again? There's this prison that they take them there by Limpopo. They just jail you there. There's a bunch of Nigerians there, about 90 of them, who want to leave but can't because they don't have papers to leave the country to begin with. So they're still waiting to be deported out the country. So now, you're an Ethiopian, you're in South Africa, and you came here because your uncle or your brother or your cousin said, just come down here, you will be perfectly fine, we'll take care of you. They do take care of you, but you have to take care of them by being enslaved in their business, and you're going to run that shop for the rest of your blood clot life. You can't do anything about it. This is literally being abducted by a terrorist group somewhere in Somalia, and they just take you down here, and you have to stay here and work for them. Sorry, tough. And we have to be okay with everything that's going on, especially them selling expired food. Lindela, appreciate it. Wamupedi. Are you kidding me? This one reads, hold on. This caption reads, JMPD TRU dismantled a human trafficking network operating between Limpopo and Gauteng. Facts. Facts. How many people are in here? How many people are in here? Let me do a quick count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's over 50 people in this one room. Facts. Over 50 people in this one room. And JMPD is saying that we are dismantling a trafficking network operating between Limpopo and Gauteng. Why Limpopo? Because Limpopo is bordering Zimbabwe. Remember now, the border there is porous as pap. You can literally walk over the fence, literally. I've seen journalists interviewing people walking in and out of South Africa from that border. I've seen facts. It's on YouTube. Literally, there's no border there. So obviously, Limpopo is the best place to enter South Africa. You have people in Limpopo entering South Africa and siphoning their way through into Gauteng. Now, when these people get to South Africa, they basically apply for asylum. They already have connections that allow them to pretty much seep through the South African system. The Home Affairs Department, as it's been exposed by the SIU, it's pretty much a marketplace where you can just pull up and buy a piece of paper. Literally, you can buy a piece of paper to get a refugee status or apply for asylum. Once you have that figured out, saying that, say in Somalia there's a war going on, they give you the damn paper, and now you're gonna sit in that tax shop with that paper. Every time when somebody asks you, when the police ask you, are you documented, you just pull it out and say, yes, I am documented. And you literally, they can literally let you go, because you are allowed to run a spaza shop if you're an asylum seeker. You are allowed to operate in the informal sector or business in South Africa if you're an asylum seeker or a refugee. Because an asylum seeker and a refugee, they have almost identical rights as a citizen. Look at these people, man. Look at how many people are in here. All of them, once they are in South Africa, are going to be applying for an asylum. It's about 50 people in there. Facts. Shout out to the JMPD for shutting the shanties down, but they're not doing enough, trust me. There's thousands of them who are still trying to come into South Africa. The same xenophobic South Africa that the media has been portraying us to be. Look at this video. 34 Ethiopians were found inside of oil tank in Zambia heading to South Africa. Listen to this conversation.
Wait. You're from Zambia? Why are you here? Yeah? These guys are from Ethiopia. They are from Ethiopia. They are from Ethiopia.
Zambia?
Yeah, this is Zambia. That's where you're going. Eh? You was coming in Zambia? Where are you going? In South? Eh? You don't know where you're going? Eh? You don't know where you're going?
Of course he doesn't know where the blood clot is going, because he was told that say, hop on this plane, hop on this ship, hop on this oil tank, we'll take you to greener pastures. If I was him, trust me, I'd do the same thing. If you actually see what's going on in these people's countries, I would do that. I don't blame illegal immigration. I really don't. And that's why our presidency went to the AU, if I'm not mistaken, or went to have a conversation with the African leaders to say, look, this is not a South African issue. This is a continental issue here in Africa. If we want to find a solution to the problems that South Africans are faced with currently right now, we need to discuss everything holistically as a continent to say, why are people leaving your country to begin with? Even if we close or build a gigantic wall like Donald Trump at our borders to cover South Africa to make sure that illegal foreigners don't enter, they'll still find creative ways to enter South Africa, as the Red Party already told them and gave them instructions to do so. Giyafana. So what I'm saying is that as long as these people's countries are not fixed, I'm going to hop in that ship too if I'm there. I'm hopping in that oil tank. Facts. I'm not going to stay in Somali and get bombed by some terrorist group. It's not happening. And you telling me that these people are crazy for trying to enter South Africa? I would do the exact same thing. I'm not going to stay in Somali. I'd rather literally try and die trying to enter South Africa. I'm sorry. And once I'm in here, I'm not going anywhere. Facts. That is not me trying to defend illegal foreigners. What I'm saying is that as long as they don't fix their countries, this problem is not going away. I kept saying this over and over again since April, that I say these people are going to leave South Africa. We're going to force them to leave South Africa. They're going to come right back. Matter of fact, if 2 leave South Africa, there's 10 coming in. Facts. I'm proving it in this live stream. Stop playing with me. Watch this carefully. What else? Zambian authorities have reportedly arrested 8 Ethiopian nationals who are allegedly being smuggled into South Africa in a truck. It's fact. It's fact. It's fact. How many are there? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9 of these blues. 9 of these blues. And you would be extremely dishonest if you told me that you wouldn't hop in that truck as well. You would be extremely dishonest if you watching this live stream right now with me reading this caption that Zambian authorities have reportedly arrested 8 Ethiopian nationals who are allegedly being smuggled into South Africa on a truck. If you're saying you would hop on that truck too, then you is a liar. You are lying. You would do the exact same thing. I know I would. I know I would. Blood clot is you talking about. Matter of fact, Ethiopia situation is pretty unique because I think Ethiopia might be the only country in the continent of Africa, or one of the few countries in this continent that did not get colonized by the Europeans. Very unique situation they faced with there. And still, even though they did not get colonized, they still failed to develop their own country, because apparently it's the white man's fault that Africa is not developed. It's the white man's fault. It's the Europeans' fault that the reason why Congo is the way it is because of the white man. The reason why Nigeria is so terrible and horrible is because of the white man. The reason why Ethiopia is struggling is because of the white man. I don't know if that's true, because Ethiopia is the only country that did not get colonized. So why are they struggling to fix their problems? And why is everybody else shaming South Africans to literally try to get rid of the white man here in South Africa? Shaming us, saying that there's no such thing as a homo nation, that's the colonizer, the oppressor, you guys are bowing down to the oppressor, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Your countries do not have white men, and you guys are flocking into our country to work for the same white men. Hypocritical. As we move on, blood clot is we talking about. Hold on, let me read this caption. Over 40 illegal Ethiopians were arrested while trying to enter South Africa illegally. This happened a few days after 67. Listen to these numbers. 67 plus 40 is 107. So 107 people in total in a week were arrested. I'll read it again. Over 40 illegal Ethiopians were arrested while trying to enter South Africa illegally. This happened a few days after 67 illegal Pakistani foreigners tried to force their way into South Africa. We have a problem in this country. This country is being invaded. But no, South Africa is still xenophobic. How the blood clot are you guys gonna get rid of illegal foreigners? You guys are xenophobic, and therefore we hate this country. We do not want to live in this country. This country is so horrible. Then why the blood clot is 67 of Pakistani folk trying to enter South Africa illegally? Why the blood clot is 40 illegal Ethiopians trying to enter South Africa illegally? You know why? Because there is a blueprint that has been set by the tuck shop and spaza shop mafia that basically stifles in South Africans, Ethiopians and Pakistani into the country to work in these spaza shop and tuck shops. 200 billion rands annual industry. The money that's not being banked, by the way. Remember, it's a cash business. That money is not being banked. I already covered in a live stream how they siphon the money out from South Africa into the Ethiopian market. They're using a P2P type system, person-to-person type system. One Bruye in South Africa who has a friend in Ethiopia, they basically just transact amongst each other, not physically, through favors. It's a trust-based system that they use to say, I have 200 rands with me, give the 200 rands that you have, or the equivalent of the Ethiopian 200 rands that you have in Ethiopia, to my client's cousin, and then I will owe you 200 rands. The brew in Ethiopia, when he has 200 rands that needs to be sent to somebody in South Africa, he calls his peer to say, remember you owe me 200 bucks? Okay, that 200 bucks that you owe me, give it to my client's peer there in South Africa. This is genius work. It's genius money laundering systems that these people have in place. I am so envious of the genius that these people are. They're really extra smart. But now they are literally taking money out of our economy and investing it into their economies without even paying the bare minimum taxation fees to SARS, since they're running businesses. At least if the economy of the 200 billion rands economy of the township market or of the spaza shop market, if it was being run by South Africans, at least that money would be circulating among South Africans, which is not the case, because it's an industry that got taken over by who? The Pakistani, Somali, Ethiopians, and the Bangladeshi. Very unfortunate. Listen to this conversation. These people talking in the background, they sound like Petty Brews, so this was definitely in Limpopo. Listen.
No thanks. No thanks.
How many people are in here?
Who is you, Akai? Where are you going, guys? Ule kwa nini uibuzo lokwa yeni?
Ura ke hakai mi una uda hite tsangane.
Mi unsa khona le phatha ting.
Amdalo le gre. Bura mo lo ga.
Ntoro kana
yi. Imo amilo khayati. Ndali lo. What river?
Do you feel what I'm saying? I counted at least 50 people in that room. It's not even a room. It looks like a truck or something. At least 50 people in here. Look. You count. I'll wait. Give me an answer once you're done. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? This country is under invasion. Literally, this country is being invaded by illegal foreigners. Even though they can see in the media trying to portray South Africa as xenophobic, they still are like, you know what? The media is lying. We know South Africans. They bluffing. They not xenophobic. They know that there's no xenophobia attacks that are happening in South Africa. So that's why they're so comfortable pulling up the side. If people were literally getting deleted like that, there wouldn't be such a huge influx of people trying to enter this country. Point blank, period. I'm not going to negotiate that part at all with nobody whatsoever. if there were quote unquote deletings that were happening here in this country, these people would not be trying to come in this country illegally to begin with. I'm not negotiating with nobody. It's only the media that keeps peddling this false narrative that people are getting deleted because of xenophobic attacks and protests. But people on the ground, the Ethiopians themselves, the Pakistani themselves, they know for a fact that this is not a thing. And that's why they're so comfortable entering into these oil tanks or ships or buses or trucks to try to enter the country. How many buses have we seen that have been crashing in Zimbabwe or Limpopo of people trying to enter the country or leave the country? The last time I checked, there was this bus that crashed in Zimbabwe that was coming from South Africa that was literally overloaded with human beings and product. When I say product, I'm talking about medication from our clinics. Remember that scene? And then our government officials said those people need to be paid RAF, Road Accident Fund. Remember that scene? Exactly. There's been countless buses that have been crashing of people trying to enter this country, even though we're being labeled as xenophobic. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave it at that for now. Appreciate you guys for joining this live stream. Do me a favor, if you value these streams, please try to support the channel by buying a book. Links in the description. Scan the QR code that's on my top left. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the next stream. Make sure that you guys keep fighting for your country. Do not stop fighting for this country. We are not xenophobic. We are not crazy. The problems and issues that we've been discussing on this channel, the problems and issues that we've been trying to expose on this channel, they are literally legitimate. Do not allow people to tell you that South Africa doesn't have these issues. I'm literally documenting this on a daily basis. Make sure that you guys are subscribed. Appreciate it. Click the like button while you're at it. Habash.